Hi there RC modelers, here we are once again in the hangar. In front of the camera is Rob, just about to introduce you to part 3 build of the Estrella 50E. Okay Rob, take it away.
Okay, so on the last video we noticed a slight problem with one of the push rods. So we're going to investigate that before we go any further, in case we have to destroy half the plane to sort out the problem. The push rod was stiff, and if we look at the inside, it's this push rod on this side. I don't know if you can get a good shot of that, Mad Colin.
I'm going for it.
And it's actually binding just where it goes through this little bit of ply that's supporting the push rod on the right.
That's better, I can see it now.
Yeah, so we've got to have a look at that. Probably need to try and get this the outer of the push rod out of there, because I think it might have a slight kink in it where it goes through the plywood. So we've got to try and sort that out, because it's stiff as anything. It's stiffer than Colin's been in years. So yeah, we'll have a go at that. If we find anything of importance, we'll let you know, and we'll be back soon. So we've sorted out the push rod for the rudder. What we did in it, the main problem with it was that where it was going through this bit of ply, the outer tube for the push rod, it had a kink in it, and so it was causing a lot of friction. So the easiest way to do it was just to trim off how much sticks out through the plywood of the plastic outer, and it's freed it up. So yeah, that's all sorted. So the next thing we're going to do is put the horns on the elevator and on the rudder. So we've cleared away the covering again from the areas where that's got to go. We've got our horns ready. Now these horns, you've got to trim them off this time, so that they don't protrude through the other side. So I've just scored a line on there on the horn that you can see there, and I'm going to trim that off, and then we're going to epoxy these into the control surfaces, and we'll be back with you when we've done that.
Okay, right back guys.
So we're just going to put in these the 2 remaining horns. Don't forget to roughen up the surface of the horn, and also remove the protective film that was on them. Otherwise, it's not going to hold in very well at all. So we'll get a bit of glue. Only need a light coat on that back plate. And just drop a little bit down the slot if you can. Doesn't need much. That's it. And push her in. Make sure it's sitting nice and flush. And that's it, and of course make sure it's on the right side. Okay, that's that one. Now we'll do the elevator. So it's the same thing again. Roughen up the surfaces with a bit of sandpaper. Give you a nice key. Get some glue on there. Get a little bit in the slot. Doesn't need much. Push it on. Oh, make sure you get the plate on the right way. Push it in. Bob's your uncle. And there you go. Don't forget to wipe off any excess. And that's it. She's ready to go. Next thing is we'll be putting the hinges on.
Excellent.
Okay, we'll be back with you in a minute.
Okay.
So we're just putting the hinges into the elevator, and we're going to basically glue the elevator onto the horizontal stab. We've put in the wire joiner for the elevators, and we quickly rubbed over that joiner with some sandpaper and cleaned it off just to give it a bit of a rough surface. We're going to drop a little bit of epoxy down in the hole where the joiner's meant to go and along that little groove there, and then push this together, and we'll be back with you when we've done it.
Okay.
So we've got the elevator all hinged up and in there, and all glued together, and that's all lovely. We're just coming to put the elevator on, the rudder on, sorry, and we've got to sort out the tail wheel. The tail wheel looks slightly different to how they show it in the manual again, and you've actually got to bend it yourself. They supply this bit of metal work with the coil already wound, but you've got to put the right angle bend on that goes into the rudder. So we've measured all that up, and we've done that, and we've installed all the bits on it. Don't forget to put the collet on there to take the load. And so the next thing to do is basically put some glue here and whack that into the rudder. So that's what we're going to do right now.
Okay.
So this is we're epoxying this in again, because it gives it a much nicer glue than super glue, and you need the strength on this, because if it comes loose it's just going to wear and bugger your rudder up in the end. And don't forget to sandpaper your bit of wire again, just so that it's nice and rough. Just gives it a better keying surface. So we're getting enough glue down the hole, and then it's just a matter of poking that all the way down and pushing it in. And you just want to make sure that obviously it's the top side of that wire is level with your hinge line, otherwise it's going to rub. And that is your tail wheel assembly, pretty well sorted. Oh, we also had to, we're one hinge short, so we've just replaced all three hinges so they were the same, because we had some knocking around. But yeah, so be aware of that you'll probably end up being a hinge short because of the extra hinges on the ailerons. Okay, we'll get this rudder assembled and come back to you.
Okay.
Right, so we've got the tail fully finished now. We've got the tail wheel on there. We've got the push rods connected. Everything's hinged and sort of working. So the next thing we're going to do is sort out the connection at the servo end. And yeah, we'll come back to you. But it's starting to look quite nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Right, so we've put the push rods in, connected them all up, got it all sorted. Don't know if I showed you the tail before, but there's the tail wheel all in there. We've got it connected up to the servos. Now we were missing one of the swing keepers, so we had to lay our hands on one of those as well. So the connection to the horn here is just a right angle bend in the wire, and then a swingy keeper hooked over. So yeah, so I mean, you know, it's pretty much getting there now. The next thing we're going to do is put the undercarriage on.
Okay.
So we'll screw that in. It's just 6 screws, and we'll be back with you.
Rightio.
Right, we've put the undercarriage on now. 6 bolts, cap head bolts and washers screw that in. We've also drilled and screwed on the spats and put on the wheels and everything else, and it's looking quite nice now. There was nothing major putting that together. It was pretty easy. The only thing we will note is there was a big lack of self-tapping screws in this kit.
Yeah.
We're probably 8 or something like that short for the whole thing. So yeah, make sure you got some little sort of self-tapping servo type screws, because you're going to need them. Yeah, and that's really the build, not far off being done. All we've got to do is a bit of radio setting up and stuff like that, and she's ready to go.
Excellent.
So I think we'll probably call this build done, and the next video will probably be the maiden.
Excellent.
So yeah, watch out if you've got any questions or anything like that. Leave them in the comments section, and I'm sure we'll be able to answer them. And watch out for the maiden video, as long as the weather holds out, which it didn't today because it chucked it down. So see you all soon.
Yeah, so it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him. Got it right.